What's going on, everybody? It's been a while.
It's been like a week and a half. Well, not for you. You did the thing in LA with Kunal, right?
Right. Which, by the way, have you seen the recording?
I've heard it's no good.
It's no good.
Yeah, no good because of the technology, not because of the content, of course.
What's going on, everybody? It's been a while. This is Mailbag Thursdays here, where we take questions from all our subscribers, Twitter followers, try to answer them to the best of our ability, and try to squeeze them all in. We got a lot of questions to go through. Anything you want to say about LA here first before we get back?
Yeah, guys. So we got back from a week-long trip to Los Angeles last week. We had the whole team out there. We partnered up with the Bulls on Wall Street crew for a bit. Shared a big house with them, and we completed our neuroscience of trading experiment, which was an awesome time.
Definitely.
There's going to be plenty more of information and education to come from that. We did our state of trading, 2 panels, one on high-frequency trading and market structure and changes in market reform, and the second one on trading psychology, behavioral management, stuff like that.
For everybody that wants that recording, what do they have to do to get that one?
For everyone that do we have sound right now? We just lost some.
Yeah, we got some.
Yeah, we got some. For everyone that wants that recording, we were lucky enough to have James Allen Smith, who is the documentary filmmaker behind the documentary Floored, which, if you guys have not seen it, you need to see it. It's about the end of pit trading. He was there getting footage the entire time of the whole experience, including the state of trading. So, it's going to be at least a couple weeks before we have that whole thing edited together and ready for you guys to check out. But, there will be a very high quality production of that, so you'll have access to it.
Great. I got sick in LA, so I'm not as energetic. I slept for hours last night, dude. Woke up tired as shit.
I slept 12 hours the first night we were back.
What? Did you really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's why nobody could get in touch with you.
11 to 11:30, man. I was. Didn't wake up once.
You didn't wake up once?
Not once. I was done, man.
Legend.
For everybody watching the markets right now, we're in chop mode here, and some people are on the fence as to whether we're going to hit all-time highs or revert back to the same selling pressure that we've seen the past couple of trading sessions. A lot of people are confused here, myself included, with the move in the treasuries versus the move in the indexes. Usually you see people flocking to these safe haven trades when they want to get out of equities. But ain't nobody getting out of equities, so what the fuck is going on here? So it's going to take some time to figure that out. Good earnings plays to watch right now. LinkedIn is popping off, Win is popping off, and the Expedia. All right, so take a look at all those. Win is up a little bit. LinkedIn is down slightly from the close, maybe. And then the Expedia is up a little bit. So I don't know. I think tomorrow we'll be in for some more chop. All right, but let's get into these questions here. We got Joe Fasolo. What's up, guys? Sorry for the crazy misspelling. I'm dyslexic. Well, thank you, and I'm sorry for you. Going back to your big bank trade, Brian was talking about hedging it with XLF, and I was just wondering if the underlying portfolio of the XLF would have any effect on the formula he was talking about based on the diversification of your position. Do you have any idea?
Listen, so when you have a sector move, like a sector rotation move, all the banks generally are going to move the same.
Right.
So being that XLF includes other banks, the ratio is different. It really doesn't matter because he's just looking for a directional move.
Right.
So if you want to hedge it, XLF is safe in a very correlated movement. So all you do is you do a dollar delta hedge, and we can talk about it some other time, but it's very safe.
Okay.
So XLF is a good way to do that.
It's the best way to do it.
All right.
Okay. All right, then we got a question from Q, our boy Qbert, a.k.a. The Robot. I know this idea isn't groundbreaking, but it's a technique that I know to work from personal experience. Experiment with types of music you listen to during certain tasks. Through trial and error, you'll eventually discover your optimal soundtrack. See, now, my boys, I call them my boys because these guys have been with me for years. Now they just seem fit to send me questions which are just absolutely ridiculous.
I like this.
Look at this one. Muspet and I have discussed the uses of movie soundtracks and or instrumental music in trading to stay clear while taking the mind off. All right? And then, so that being said, and you being the music aficionado, I'm surprised you spelled that right, with your extensive collection of Michael Bolton through Kenneth Lamar. It's Kendrick Lamar, you fool. You fool. Okay? Have you experienced flashbacks of... Well, we'll get to that. So, as far as the music, why don't we go ahead and interact on Twitter, guys. What music do you listen to when you are trading? What music do you feel like you are most effective in trading? So right now I can tell you I listen to a lot of instrumental music while I'm trading. I can't listen to a lot of lyrics, because it's too confusing. Once there's a voice, then I lose track of my tape. It's like the tape has its own voice. I gotta listen to that voice. If I'm listening to another voice, and then that would speak totally corollary to all these motherfuckers in here who are sitting behind me,
yelling,
jabbering away.
Oh, I can't get anything done without noise canceling headphones.
Right, yeah. Right. So I agree with that 100%. You have to figure out what music you trade best to.
This is my personal observation for you, right?
What do you got?
So, guys, I've obviously been in the room with Lucci trading every day, besides when he's in Boston, for the past 2 years, right? The spans in my recollection and memory is imperfect. I will be the first one to say that.
Okay.
But the spans in my recollection, when you trade best, are when you're listening to either reggae, or like blues, jazz.
Blues and jazz.
Because
right.
you're
all right.
When he has that kind of music on, he's sort of like, to me, it seems like you're more patient.
Right.
You're kind of waiting for stuff to come along.
Okay.
But you're also like in the flow. Okay, you're not like listening to some sort of instrumental like tones where it's just like you're zoned out.
He's absolutely right. That's your shit. You're in the zone.
That's your shit.
And then other people have different things. Like Brian over here listens to this crazy drum and bass. You want to know why? Because his mind is very complex. So it needs to feed it, through complex music.
Right.
That's what I think.
Wow, that's the nicest thing you ever said to me.
I don't think that was
probably true.
To me, it's nice.
So what do you do? What do you do during the day? Like,
you want to know what I listen to?
What do you got?
This is how fucking weird I am.
Bluegrass?
Everybody.
Celine Dion?
I listen to the sound of water. That's what I listen to.
Shut up, you fucking weirdo, man.
I believe it.
It's basically white noise, right? I can't even listen to.
Noise.
A lot of people say they can't listen to lyrics. I can't even listen to changes in beats or whatever. I have to be white noise.
It's just. By the way, white noise is a phrase that's actually used for that kind of music. I don't think they meant it to be for white people.
For white people, but it is.
But I think that's what.
It's some white people shit. I eat my Chipotle.
So
I put on my white noise, and I look at J. Crew.
You look at J. Crew online?
No, I don't look at J. Well, sometimes.
All right, so we got some people online saying they listen to the Batman movie soundtrack.
Ooh, I haven't checked that. That's probably a good one.
And then that Drive soundtrack.
Drive soundtrack is sick. Tick of the clock. Although the problem is, I started thinking about robbing banks in the middle of the day. I actually have a thought process of whether or not we could rob a bank, our crew together, which I think we could.
I think we could.
If shit really hits the fan, we might do that.
And then we got somebody listening to Beyonce. That's great.
I can't do Beyonce.
I hope that works out for you.
No, thank you.
All right, let's go to the next question here. Faisal is saying, do you guys have any idea how to get historical... Hold on.
The last one for Q, I want to hear that.
Oh, Jesus. I wasn't even going to do this.
Yeah, you were going to avoid it.
All right, he's saying, have you experienced flashbacks of and he's putting quote unquote, and obviously he's speaking like me because he's a fucking computer. Yo, that song right there back in the day made or lost me like thousands of dollars. Like, which song would it be? If that song lost you money, would you have deleted it from the rotation? I can't remember the songs that I listened to when I
your biggest or your
like I'm not gonna remember that.
You don't listen to like you don't remember when you were listening to when you hit the $1 million. When you hit the Citigroup trade for 1.4 mil, you don't remember?
Dude, in that office, I never listened to one. any music whatsoever.
That's interesting.
That was a dead office. It was a dead office. I listened to zero music.
What was going on? Was there a lot of noise in the office?
Yeah, there was a lot of kids. Everybody was buying tickets. Like, you know, there was all kinds of shit.
But it was just sort of hum. One
Yeah.
might say it was white noise. Huh? You see what just happened
There
there,
was a
people?
Hispanic church like right next door, so I would hear like hymns and all kinds of weird shit
town
going
is that
on
in?
over there.
Boom. We're gonna get a fucking Baptist choir in here next time, clapping behind you when you're going in.
All right. So we got Faisal. Shout out to Faisal. He's always here every single week. Do you guys have any idea how to get historical time and sales going back a few years? As I want to practice tape reading on my own.
Thinkorswim Simulator.
Thinkorswim Simulator is now the only place that you're going to be able to go back a couple of years. Fidelity used to do it. That was my go-to. And now they only do 30 days. They only do 30 days. Most brokers now will only give you a couple of days, 5 days, 10 days, 30 days. Interactive brokers who's saying time and sales is not accurate. And then you get the data providers, which you have to pay for that information, which you ain't got the money to do. So neither would I pay that kind of money either. So you got to go with Thinkorswim, the ThinkBack platform, or whatever it's called, on demand.
Yeah. So actually, you go. Well, I mean, this is what we did. We don't go to paper trading for Thinkorswim. You log in your Thinkorswim account. You go to live trading. You can put $50 in there to open up an account, and then you go to on demand. I think is in the live trading thing.
Right,
so yeah.
Right. All right, so we got Momark here, member of our chat room. After 2 years of this, I still can't say I'm a good tape reader. She was watching CMG, boring tape to watch, and someone in the chat proclaims there's a big seller holding it down. She's wondering why are they saying that. She can't really figure out what it is exactly they're seeing. She's looking at a bunch of refreshers on the tape, large spreads, one lots.
I would like to put in a little prelude to this answer here to say that Momark has been a student of ours for a while. She's been in the chat, and she is actually been kicking ass lately trading, right? I mean, when we do the chat room and reviews, we're always seeing Momark putting up big trades. So I think a lot of people come to our education and they get a little bit intimidated because they're like, tape reading seems just impossible. And yes, tape reading is probably the hardest thing to teach that these guys do. It's probably the hardest part of it. But Momark she's gotten very, very good at obviously understanding options and the underlying equities and how they move and the strategies to play. She does quite well, using that. This is someone who's saying, hey, I can't even implement one part of the strategy you guys use, and she does just fine. So
it's so Mo, it's very dynamic. So to give you an example of what you need to now start looking for is you got to look outside of the box. It might not just be obvious on the tape that a big seller is holding your stock down. What you might be able to see is the fact that they keep pushing at a certain level, and she goes nowhere. Right? Sellers continue to refresh. So as soon as buyers take out offers, those offers just come right back. They come right back, even if it's one lot or two lots. There is a seller there kind of holding it down, or a group of sellers, And then you got to take into account the fact that someone in the chat, who could be an idiot, is proclaiming that there's a big seller there holding it down. So, unless it was me saying it, or somebody that we know, understands the tape well, I'd watch what you hear in the chat room.
She's in the private chat, right?
She's in the private
chat. So yeah, okay.
Yeah. So you got to step outside the box here a little bit. Start trying to create theories around price movement that that looks a little weird to you, or looks like it's holding down a certain level or holding up a certain level, either or. So quick update here. This win is rallying quite significantly here. All right, so Maisie is saying, tuning into the markets this morning to find Tesla, Netflix, and Google down after I sold the puts I bought yesterday morning for a loss. To be a good girl and cut risk has me so frustrated as I was watching the Google tape yesterday and just sense a lack of conviction in the long. That was a trade I put on just on the basis of tape. Then I thought, why not play a whole week tech trade a la Sang Lucci basket trade? So I split my position size in thirds on Tesla, Netflix, and Google. So her question is this: once you develop an idea based on the tape, all right, how do you gauge how long it might take to play out? All right,
question.
And this is a great question. Now, this is more proof that you're going to create an idea, right? And you're going to get proof on the tape that you're right. Okay. Now, you don't know how long you're going to be right for. There are a lot of different factors that are happening. What is the market doing? What is your sector doing? Okay, and then how is everybody acting on that tape that you're watching? You might have a short-term read on it, and then all of a sudden the market might change, and that read goes out the window. Okay, the best reads, the ones where you can actually hold these positions, are when you time them with moves in the market. That way, that if you're, let's say, you're doing a basket short, your market is weak. If that is the case, chances are you're going to be able to hold on for a longer period of time. Why? Because there will be more sellers simply because they're coming out of the index, whatever the reason, and vice versa. If you're in a situation where you're kind of going against the index, or the index is pretty choppy, you should already know that things might get a little dicey. And it is constant. It is the constant tape reading, the constant reevaluation of your theory that's going to get you that best exit. That's going to give you the anticipation that, you know what, maybe this isn't such a great entry. Let me cut out all of this shit and try again later, when the market looks like it's about to turn, or the sector looks like it's about to make a big move.
I feel like for you, a lot of times the tape is really just informing your entry.
That's
right?
all
I mean,
he
has. I mean, we're not talking about scalping, guys. We're talking about more of a swing trade.
Right.
The tape is really there to inform his entry and time it right, unless there are times when you are using the tape to inform your macro sentiment analysis, where you're saying,
right,
I have seen big buyers continue to come into
right,
Google every single day.
Right.
That is reaffirming what I think is happening on a macro level. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So if you don't have those things going for you, your time frames, no matter what, they're going to be squeezed. Especially, in the last couple of days, this has happened to a lot of people. Basket long, basket short, basket long, basket short. Every single one of them are sort of dying a slow death here. And it's really waiting until the most opportune moment. So after you make that theory based on the tape, based on everything, it's the constant reevaluation. Your job has not stopped. You know what I mean? You're going to create that theory, but your job reading the tape has not just stopped. You got to keep reassessing and then anticipate, okay, does this look good for me to hold, or should I get the hell out and try to go in later?
This one's going to be for you, too.
All right, so we got D-Jack here. D-Jack, member of our chat room. I've tried to implement hedging strategy in my trades. What is the most ideal time to put on a hedge for weekly options? Case example, it's Tuesday, bought Tesla puts, and it's now in my favor within 30 minutes of buying it. I could have closed the trade as I am up 30%, but I want to test hedging by buying a call 2 strikes away in case it drops further. Now, Tesla retraces back, and my puts are losing money, but my calls are not appreciating much either. Close the trade as a small loss. I mean, this is our life story right here. It's very complicated.
So when you buy the week, okay, so
try to do this without too much.
The stock dumps, the volatility goes up. Okay, when the stock starts going up, volatility is going to come off. So the best thing to do is to buy a call that has less volatility in it. So that would be more in the money call. So you're going to get more delta to it. So something more deep in the money is going to have more sensitivity to the stock than an out of the money option whose volatility might come off as well, and it might even off the delta move.
I understood that, which is amazing. Good explanation. If I understand it, it's a good explanation.
Right. Your timing on this really has to. I mean, to put it in layman's terms here, when Brian and I are tussling, it's like when I'm up in these positions, let's say in a directional position, and the market is about to turn or the market is slowing down, that's when you have to put on that hedge. That's when you have to start that hedge. If your stock continues to move, let go of the hedge, and then try to re-hedge, lower. Okay, but the point is, you have to be ready to hedge when essentially you don't want to. Your mind, because you're in a directional position, so you have a one-track mind. You need to have 2 tracks, which is almost fucking impossible. That's why I have this man sitting next to me, because I got 1 track. So when you're up big in these positions, these directional positions, eventually, your options, just because of the nature of what we're trading and volatility and all that kind of stuff, your options are going to slowly dwindle in premium once your stock stops going in that direction.
Right.
Even if it's just chilling there, you're going to lose premium. So it's at those points where you need to hedge. But your natural instinct is going to say, yo, I want more. Let's wait until this thing keeps moving. Okay? So you have to play both sides, and it's very difficult to do
Can I just throw one thing in? If you can short an option to take advantage of that volatility, you should sell some out of the money put also, so that kind of hedges your premium risk.
True.
In that long put.
True.
So if you can sell
True.
a put and then buy in the money call.
True.
It's going to hedge you really well.
Yeah. And so what Brian is saying, and by the way, Brian is going to be rolling out a class to really delve into this particular topic. You know, there are
a whole course. Right?
course.
Yeah. He's now teaching a class in the boot camp.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So now when you take the boot camp, you're going to get another class with Brian, who's going to teach you about, you know, how to hedge. What is the proper hedge? What is the proper time to hedge? You know, you guys are buying calls 2 strikes away, and Jack, you're saying, you know, those calls are not appreciating yet because it's a fucking weekly call and it's 2 strikes out of the money. So that wasn't the right hedge for you to use. What you needed to do was write a put or maybe get an at the money call, you know? Yeah. So there's a lot of different things that you need to think about, and you need to be able to think about it like this, you know? So you have to practice this stuff.
To summarize it, did you say put on the hedge when the ball drops out?
No, see, if you're wanting to hedge because you're seeing the tape, you know, we're starting to go back up, at that moment, that's when the ball's going to start coming off because people aren't afraid anymore and stop dumping.
Right.
So when that happens, the ball starts coming off. There's pro guys coming in, pushing the ball down, so get ahead, so you hedge the premium of that put you're long, and then hedge the delta, and that has some delta component to it.
Right.
And you buy some deeper in the money calls that are more sensitive to a stock move back up.
Right, but that's so when the ball comes off a little bit, that's when your hedge is going to get a little bit cheaper, right? That's when you buy?
No, you're selling that other put.
Oh, you're selling that.
So like
okay,
the interesting that you're like, you see a big buyer in the stock.
Right.
You're like, okay,
should
I hold these puts.
Right, but I need to get a hedge.
So sell some other put at a really good level.
Put. Yeah,
right.
So
absolutely. Gotcha.
you own those,
absolutely.
I feel you.
And again, guys, you know, there are so many different theories, so many different ways to do this. You need to do a lot of practice, and you know, really get your research down.
And guys, you know, as Lucci said, Brian right now teaches a class in the boot camp, right? We're developing an entire course around what Brian does. The reason we are raising the price of the boot camp, which we're actually doing tonight at midnight, so if you want to buy, get your asses in there at a reduced price, is because Brian is now, you know, in there, and we have another class into neuroscience and trading psychology, so it's a 14-day boot camp now instead of 12.
All right, so we got a couple questions on Twitter, and then we're going to get out of here. We got @ChiliFarmer. I still want to know why the hell he calls himself Chili Farmer.
Yeah.
Maybe it has it on the...
Maybe he's a chili farmer.
I mean, he can't be a chili farmer. Who the hell is a chili farmer?
Hold on, is that his thing? I want to read that.
That's his thing. That's his thing.
Entrepreneurs living... Oh, yeah, okay.
All right, guys, his question is, sometimes I have the fear of missing out of trades. Are there always opportunities in the market, whether bull or bear? I mean, dude, I think you already know the answer to this question. I mean, bro, whenever you lose an opportunity, there's one coming around the corner. There's one the next day. There's one the day after. You know what the worst thing that happens to most new traders? They miss an opportunity, and then they go for it. They go for it on the next one, and there's no more of that edge. Remember, like, these moves happen very quickly, and the bulk of these moves happen very quickly. If you're not there to take advantage of it, you're late to the party. When you're late to the party, you know what happens? You're paying way too much for your options. They're not that easy money is gone. So for you to make that money, the same kind of money again, that shit ain't gonna happen. You know, so you need to be okay with missing out these trades. You know, to me, it's part of growing up. It's part of understanding what it is to be a real trader, to stick around in the game long enough. You know, that it's okay. You know, it's a pride thing. You know, you missing out on trades, dude, it's like you missing out on getting the girl's phone number, man. It's a goddamn numbers game here. You ain't going to get the number all the time, every single girl you see.
To give another analogy that I'm sure has been given a billion times before, it's like baseball, you know? Like the best hitters, the guys that are the hardest to pitch to, are the ones that just wait, right? And it doesn't matter the number of pitches that they take necessarily. It's really about, do they connect with the ones that they swing at, right? So you're going to fucking miss great pitches all the time. It's just, do you connect with the ones that you actually swing at?
Right.
That's the question.
All right, so we got @141 Shaker, who is a member of our chat room. He's saying, yo, what's your new account deal, and when's the new site /chat room going to be up? Thank you, by the way, for annoying the shit out of these guys. And I know I told you to do that, so I do appreciate it.
Keep it coming.
So what is happening right now with the website, honestly, is the development of it is taking a while. The back-end development is taking a while. And again, this is why a lot of gurus, they outsource a lot of this shit, you know? We're in a situation where most gurus that you talk to or you see online, they outsource all the back-end stuff. Why? Because it's a bitch. It's a bitch to talk to all these developers. It's a pain in the ass to troubleshoot issues with chat rooms or issues with, you know, your whatever, all these different metrics where a site is built on. So it's a pain in the ass. It's very cost. You know, there's a lot of costs involved. There's a lot of management of contractors, you know, which gets to be a pain in the ass. So when is it going to be done, Charlie? You want to answer this?
Every time I've ever given an estimate on when the site has been done in my career with Sang Lucci, which is an extensive now 2.5 years.
2.5 years.
I've been off. So I'll say this knowing that I'll probably be off, but sometime next week, hopefully, we will be flipping this bad boy.
Right. Right.
You know,
so that's just the website. That's just the website.
Right.
That's not the third-party services like the chat room and
right.
Stuff.
Yeah.
So
I mean, guys,
that'll be the next step.
We're doing this in stages. But yeah, hopefully website next week.
Right.
You know, trust me, it's not lost on us. It's the kind of thing that we think about nonstop. We talk about it all the time. We're not just kind of letting it float.
Right. His other question is, what's your new account deal? So, guys, we are going with IB Prime, Interactive Prime Brokers, and then we also have a couple different execution brokers as well. So right now, it's kind of a complicated deal. I'm not fully set up yet either, so you know,
we might not be at a point where we can talk about it necessarily yet.
Right.
Just because Pete and I have put in a boatload of work into this arrangement, but when we can, we will talk about it, guys.
We will do that. So now we got at JustinBH86. What strategies do you employ in an attempt to reduce delta gamma risk and or large swings in the market that you may not want? Brian, you want to take this one? What strategies?
Well, I mean, gamma risk, I guess, because you're short an option.
Right.
So, I mean, when you're trading weeklies, that's what it is. You have gamma risk. So what you can do is hedge it. Say you short calls, you maybe buy in the money call or sell in some kind of put.
To be honest, man, to be honest, Justin, I mean, in a market where there's large swings, I want to be trading that gamma. I want to be trading for that delta. I mean, I want to be in there trading for it. So if we're in a market that has large swings, then I want to be playing all these crazy directionals and making $100 grand a day because I can do that in a market that has large swings. In a market that's shit and we're just flattening out, which is what happens during the summer, that's when I turn to selling strategies. That's when I turn to writing options because there's no more of those large swings. And then how you would reduce that risk is, like what Brian said. You got your catastrophic risk, essentially.
Yeah, I mean,
your overnight freaking calls and puts.
It really depends on if you're long or short an option. If you're short, like in Lucci thinks the chop price line all of a sudden starts moving, you got to kind of pre-hedge. You got to start selling something deeper.
Right.
Because if we start moving towards your short, you got to have delta protection.
Right. All right. Let's take a couple of more here. When you started prop trading, how long did it take you to become a profitable trader? Dude, it took me a year and a half. By the way, this is from @thatishT I like. I don't even know how to say this. So it took me a year and a half, guys, to become profitable. It took me a while to become profitable. And that's just the name of the game. If you come into the game and you think you're going to be profitable within a couple of months, that's just not a realistic expectation. So most people, they say it takes 6 months to become profitable. I think that's kind of bullshit. It depends on the kind of training you're getting. It depends on the kind of education you're getting. It depends on the kind of practice that you're putting through. It depends on the kind of effort that you're putting through. And you know what else? I've been in prop trading offices where the prop traders come in at 9:20 in the morning, or they come in late, or they come in at 9:45. They think they got this cool job, and then they walk in at 9:45. I'm looking at them, and I don't even work there. This is like when I go back to WTS Boston.
You're like that guy.
I don't even work there. I
don't
even work there, and I look at these people. I'm like, yeah, you gonna make a lot of money. Yeah. Keep doing that. Keep doing that.
Yeah, guys. Lucci obviously has gotten to a place in his trading where most traders don't get to, but he also put in insane hours. That's not when he says, what did you say, a year and a half?
Yeah.
I mean,
it took me a year and a half. By the way, I was making money before that, but I couldn't keep it.
Right.
That's why I say a year and a half.
Yeah, a year. Yeah, like
that's why I say a year.
When we say profitable, when we said Lucci became profitable, it's like that was when he, for the most part, stopped giving it back to the point of going negative. Right. I mean, still had winning and losing trades, but and he fucking working his ass off. You know, reviewing 3 hours worth of tape at the end of every day, going back and pinpointing what the good trades were from the other traders in the prop firm and what happened in the tape and drawing cause and effect from that. I mean, he was putting in a lot of work. Right. Some people, you know, they have a strategy that they stumble onto, and you know, after 3 months, like they can kind of
I met a guy that was profitable after 1 month. He just had it. He had it, whatever the hell it was. He just had it.
And then there's people who try for 5 years and don't get it. You know,
but not for nothing. That guy who was profitable for 1 month, there was that edge that he had. After that edge disappeared,
he blew up. Right. I find it hard to believe that anybody. That there are truly any like real prodigies, unless you're developing technology or something that's giving you an advantage.
Right.
I just don't.
You don't see it.
Finding a lasting strategy and a IQ of the markets that is capable of adapting to all the changes that are constantly coming down the pipeline. I find it hard to believe that you can cultivate that or just be born with that. Cultivate in a month or be born with that. You know, it's something you just have to put in the time with.
I do agree. All right, so we're going to take the last question here at Johnny Trades 1. When sending your trades, do you prefer to route your order to SIBO, ICE, BATS, or do you just like to place auto route? This is a big discussion. So it can't really be answered by, you know, just one kind of answer. This is something obviously we talk about in the 12-day course as well, the 14-day course, I should say.
Yep.
Is we talk about order routing. We talk about some of the best practices, especially if you're trading options versus equities. We talk about what the difference are when you route to these particular exchanges. Every single exchange has a different cost attached, has a different like sort of cost-benefit approach to using that particular exchange or route. You know, some of it is detrimental to you. Some of it might be beneficial to you getting a better price or more size. It could be anything. You know, so for me personally, when I'm limiting and things like that, I do use a lot of SIBO because I can get much faster fills on SIBO. BATS I'll never use. I will never use BATS. You know, and then if I'm sending a market order, you know, depending on what my platform is able to give me, you know, I might use an auto route order. But these auto route orders, by the way, are the worst. So FYI to all retail guys out there, when you send that auto order through your Fidelity or Scottrade or whatever, everybody sees you coming a mile away, especially if it's some size that's, you know, that's worth throwing out there. So if you're doing 50, 100 contract lots with an auto route order, be prepared to get absolute shit fills on that order, you know.
You're going to see some slippage.
All right. So that's it for the mailbag today. We got anything going on here?
No, guys. You know, like we said, 12-day course is now the 14-day course. We're raising the prices tomorrow. So tonight or today, you can get in there, sign up. Just go to sanglucci.com. You can follow the front page.
Yeah.
Get signed up, guys.
All right, everybody. We'll see you guys on Tuesday.
Peace.